Hello and welcome back to Éire. My name is Ben. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Benelli TRK 702X adventure bike. In particularly, why I'm making this video is it's one of those bikes that have sort of gone under the radar. So today we're going to be taking a look at its design, some of its features. We'll also have a look at a competitor. We'll also look at its pricing, and of course I'll give you my verdict on the bike too. So stick around. I hope you enjoy the video. Give me a like, and I look forward to any comments you may currently have. Is this maybe a bike that you might consider? Let me know below. So here we go, and let's start. Right, on the front of the bike, there's two things I want to mention. First of all is the LED unit. It's a dual LED module. It's very attractively recessed into the front section of the bike. Kind of reminds me of a pair of sunglasses. You can see the very wide, slim, pointed up. It's like, I have to admit, that's a very attractive looking front. And also to go with that, you've also got a very tall windshield. You can see the handguards as well. And again, the proportions of the bike look exceptionally well done. The braking system consists of a double 320mm diameter disc on the front with a 2-piston floating caliper. The rear has a 260mm diameter disc on the back with a single piston floating caliper. 19-inch front aluminium alloy rims and 17-inch aluminium alloy rims on the rear with steel spokes. The suspension setup on the 702X, you've got 50mm upside down front forks. They offer 140mm of travel. At the rear, an aluminium swing arm with a central monoshock with a spring preload, hydraulic rebound, and compression settings adjustable with 50mm of travel. So that's 173mm at the wheel. Well, we move on to the engine here, and it's a brand new 698cc twin-cylinder engine. Produces 70 brake horsepower, which is 51.5 kilowatts at 8,000 RPM. 70 newton meters of torque at 6,000 RPM. So again, expect that really low end power to come through really nicely. I'm actually quite surprised at the power of this unit. It's also a double overhead camshaft timing with 4 valves per cylinder. Obviously chain driven, and it's electronic fuel injection. The transmission 6-speed gearbox, and that's assisted with a wet slipper clutch with torque converter. So a nice match-up there with engine and gearbox. Well, we're going to have a look at the standard features of the bike. So the bike comes standard with a 20-litre fuel tank. You've got a full LED light cluster. It also has the TFT display, the 5-inch TFT display, and of course this Bluetooth connection as well with that, so you can pair up your phone, and it can display your phone calls, and of course your notifications. It has the backlit lighting around the controls, which comes as standard. You've got the high windshield screen, and you've got 19-inch wheels on the front, 17-inch wheels on the back, large brake discs on the front, and of course good brake discs on the back. Obviously ABS is standard. That's just to go over a few features. Right, let's look at a few more dimensions. Now, first of all, seat height on this model is 835mm. That is higher than the standard 702, which is 790. We've got unladen weight at 218 kilos, so obviously wet weight would be fuel as well. So unladen, that would be considered dry weight. I think the bike is a bit on the heavier side, in my opinion. The ground clearance is 205mm. And of course, there is a 4-litre fuel reserve built into that 20-litre tank. Right, let's have a look at luggage options. Now, this bike comes with a full kit of complementary aluminium luggage, which I think is fantastic. They're not plastic cases. It is proper aluminium luggage. Now, the value of that aluminium kit, I think it's roughly, let's say, 1,200 euros worth. So you are getting that absolutely free included in the bike, which I think is fantastic. So you're effectively buying a bike that's fully kitted, and you're ready for your next adventure. Right, so pricing, 8,995 euros at the making of this video. Now again, that is exceptionally well priced for what you get. And we're going to move on to the two competitors for you to consider in relation to the value that this bike offers. It offers exceptional value. Yes, it may not have the electronics package that we would all desire, and I think there is room there for them to still do that when we look at some competitors. But you can expect a great performing engine at that money. The excellent braking performance with the ABS. It may not have traction control and ride modes, but it certainly has got that adventure specification that we all want in a bike like this. So very well priced at $8,995, and just check the territory that you're in relation to pricing. Our first competitor, the Honda NX500. New bike, sharp new adventure styling, replaces the CB500X. Great look about it, new LED lighting units, both front and back. The 5-inch TFT display incorporates Honda's Road Sync, allowing you turn-by-turn navigation. Excellent switchgear with backlit lighting as well. Strong suspension systems, strong braking performance. The power plant itself, although not the same as the 689 and the Benelli, it's a 471 unit, which we've seen in other bikes, developing 35 kilowatts and 43 newton meters. However, traction control is available as standard on the NX500. I've put this one in there mainly from a pricing perspective, as it comes in at $8,999, which is exceptional value. If you're in another territory, please check with your Honda dealer in relation to pricing and specification. So this is one bike definitely you should check out when comparing it with the Benelli. Our next competitor, the Yamaha Tenere 700, comes in at $13,300. Obviously, this is on the upper end of the budget. So, however, it does offer excellent off-road potential, a great engine, that CP272 brake horsepower motor that has been well proven. The suspension travel off-road is phenomenal. It comes in at 230 millimeters on the front, 220 millimeters on the back. 3-mode switchable ABS, 5-inch TFT display, and an awesome fuel tank. 23-litre fuel tank, which is going to give you about 500 kilometers of range. Exceptional build quality, excellent dealer network with Yamaha. However, it all comes down to pricing. If your budget is around the 9,000, this is where the really good value of the Benelli comes in. However, if you have a higher budget in mind, this is one of the ultimate machines out there that you could possibly look at, is the Tenere 700. So again, pricing, just make sure if you're international, please check with your local Yamaha dealer. Right, my final verdict. This is definitely one bike that has fallen under the radar as far as I'm concerned. There's not that many Benelli dealers, particularly in Ireland. I'm not sure about the rest of the world as well, but a bike that offers this sort of level of value to the pricing bar, it's definitely in a unique area. Whereas if you take the pricing and put it out there, you're up against bike with smaller capacity engines. So they've priced the bike exceptionally aggressive to enter the market. They've got a good all-round package. Sure, it doesn't have the electronics package, but if you look at our two competitors, most of them don't have the ride modes, I'd say at least. The suspension travel is okay. It's what it's designed for. It's designed for a bit of off-roading and, your usual road orientated travel. It's definitely worth looking at, in my opinion. It's difficult to compete with Honda's quality, brand awareness, history, and brand and network. And likewise with the Yamaha, really good value, but pricing is just out of this world on this bike. So definitely worth having a look, see what you think. Come back to me, put your comments in there as well. Let me know what your thoughts on this bike, but I think it's really excellent value for $8,995. So for those that might want to save a few quid in relation to a higher price bike, definitely worth checking out in my opinion.